Hi, I'm Ren Truitt, and I've been a co-op member for over 40 years, and the Truitt family have been members for more than 60 years. South Plains Electric Cooperative is celebrating 80 years of member service in 2017. I was elected to your board of directors in 2015 and am honored to follow great leaders like Mr. Alcorn, who is a founding member and a board president. In the 1950 annual report, he wrote that the growth of the REA program was an inspiring story. It was an example of how people and their government can work together to improve the quality of life for its members. And that has not changed in 80 years.
And as part of their growing campus, I know there was a lot of work with redesigning their whole kind of power grid system out here that we were involved in the meetings and kind of negotiating, or not negotiating, but just kind of planning where transformers were going to go, and working with your team for this edition, for the edition here behind us for the CTE Center, and for several of the other additions that we're doing on the other side of the campus over here. So there was a lot of coordination with SPEC's team for where things were going to land and how it was all going to tie together, and timing of shutdowns, and so everything went really smooth from our perspective. So.
I've been a member all my life, and I'm 62. And my granddad was one of the when the original co-op started here, he went around and signing folks up. So our family's been members for over 80 some odd years of the co-op that's been here, and whenever the original co-op merged with South Plains, that was probably one of the best things that ever happened to this whole country around here. It really is.
I remember when the electricity got turned on in 1949, and I was 10 years old, and we had a big party at my uncle's house because the REA boys was coming to turn the lights on.
It's been fantastic. I have service in Lubbock and in Childress both, and I bought a place in Childress at Baylor Lake, which is west of town, and I found out y'all couldn't provide service there, so I got rid of it.
How I guess assets are allocated, how basically how we operate as a co-op. Whereas if I was a utility, I would have no say at all in that.
While I'm not a cooperative employee, I do serve the membership, just like 150 plus employees, and employees have always had a heart for service. My mother wrote a letter back in 1989 to the co-op praising the employees for their hard work and dedication in restoring power after a twister hit our farm, destroying a barn and knocking down several miles of highline poles. That story and many others like it is why we decided to celebrate member service at our 80-year milestone, because so many members appreciate what the employees do day in and day out, as well as many nights.
It's like a family feel. You go in there and everybody knows your first name and joke around with you, and it feels like you're at home.
Grand people to work with, and anytime you have a problem, they respond immediately.
When you come into office, they're very pleasant, always willing to help. When you call, what can we do? And it's a very pleasant experience.
Oh, so easy to deal with. Everybody's cordial. And the main thing is, if I call you, y'all answer the phone, and I get that person. They do all my dealings very cordially. Everyone else I work with, I make that phone call, and I may wait an hour to finally get to the right person after I've gone through a computer.
They're very, very cordial, very helpful, and I have just thoroughly enjoyed working with those girls.
And my children grew up with their grandparents here as members, and my kids still come from afar to annual meetings so that we can all go, because that's what we do. Once a year we go to the REA meeting. That's what we still call it.
Well, it's a co-op, you know. We're all in it together, and all us country people have got to fight for every little thing we got.
Like I said, it's just great to be with them, especially their annual functions, you know, where they let you know what's going on with the company, and they inform you more of what is being done.
I really liked it because when we sat down, we got to meet other people, and the other people that we sat with, they had been there before. But this was our first time, so we got to meet new people.
Well, it's a way to stay informed about what's going on. I mean, the rural co-op has been very, very good for the country folk, so to speak. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have had light bulbs back in the 50s.
For very sundry reasons. I mean, we like to see what's going on, what new kind of things are coming out, and also, you know, that's where everybody comes together, and we get to hear how the co-op is doing, and it's just like basically like a big family gathering, so to speak.
Being a co-op, they'll open their books up to you and say, this is what we've got going on, this is our, you know, we have our representatives from this area, and they'll open their books up and you can see exactly where money's going, how it's spent. There's nothing's hidden in there, and then, you know, it's just nice to have a company that will put on an annual meeting for you that you feel you're a part of, and so you can really, it's transparent.
Mr. Alcorn gave an inspiring story in 1950, and 10 short years later, Board President R.C. Pace spoke of the co-op's growth as city folks migrated to the pleasures of country living. The new members in the early 1960s were not aware of the monumental task of bringing electricity to the rural areas. Here we are today, 50 plus years down the road, facing the same challenge every day of educating our members about the cooperative advantage. But I can assure you we will continue to meet this challenge every day by providing superior member service and safe, reliable electricity at the lowest possible cost. Members are not just our #1 priority. They are the reason we're here. This is your co-op. Thank you for being a member.